good morning or afternoon or wherever you are when you are watching this. Sasha, who might pop in, hopefully won't pop and knock you over. Sasha and I are on a hike, and I had sat down to knit and thought that it might be fun to share this moment with you. So, before we begin, I am Melissa. You can call me Mel, and I live here in absolutely gorgeous, amazing Kodiak, Alaska. You can hear the birds in the background. The ocean is behind me. In the close behind me, or foreground, is Lake Gertrude. And this is one of my favorite spots. It is a place where you can be at once in the forest with the soft moss under your feet and the beautiful trees around you. I'm gonna throw a treat, hold on. There you go. So yeah, if you see a bulgy thing in my pocket, it's a bunch of treats. You can be at once in the forest, surrounded by the trees and the moss, with the birds next to you and above you, and close to fresh water and close to the ocean. There's craggy rocks, there are river rocks. It's kind of a convergence of all the things that I love, and I find myself in this area every day, rain or shine. And in fact, rainy days are actually beyond words how beautiful they are here. So, for those of you who, like me, might be knitters, I've got to really quickly show you what I'm wearing today because I generally wear hand knits. These were not knit by me, and they were a gift from a friend of mine. They're just fingerless mitts, and they come in super handy. If you ever contemplate giving someone fingerless mitts as a gift, definitely do it. I treasure these, and I have made some for other people, and they are both a treasure to be savored and a utilitarian gift to be used. I just love it. We got the yarn together, my friend Barb and I, at this lovely shop in Doylestown, Pennsylvania called Forever Yarn. We saw these mitts on display, which the name escapes me right now, and she found something she's digging. We both bought the yarn, which was Woolfolk yarn, and it's their fingering weight. I'll put the details somewhere and let you know where that is if you're interested. The other thing I'm wearing is a hat. It's actually a kerchief. I have naturally kinky, curly hair. And when I wear a hat, oftentimes it'll dry it out and make it super frizzy, but I need to keep my head warm. Sometimes I line my hats with something very silky or satiny to help with that, and I'll generally rub a little bit of oil on it just to kind of keep it from being really, really frizzy. I find that a nice balance to keeping my hair from being super dry and my head nice and warm is a kerchief. This one is Bopshi, which is what I called my grandmother, and she always wore a kerchief, and she always looked very stylish in it. I admire that about her, or I admire that. She's passed away a long time ago, but I did admire that. She's always so put together, even when she was just kerchief over top of rollers. I don't know how the ladies then did it, but they were amazing. We're amazing too nowadays, but just a different era back then. Anyways, So the kerchief is super simple, super easy, and super free. I will have it on my blog, which is Encourage Better. And you can drop over to the free pattern section and find out where you can get your free patterns. I used to sell patterns and I loved it. I loved creating them. And I'm just now at a place where those old ones that I've created in the past, I just feel like sharing them. So if you're interested, you can totally pop by the blog and grab yourself a free pattern. It's super simple. There's a center line that's slipped, and it's where you change the colors. You could totally do it in one color. Oh, no, Sasha. Let me see if I can give her a treat. Hey, look what Mom's got. Hey, ready. Up, sit. Can you sit? Can you turn around and sit? Sit. But maybe not go by the camera. One of the joys of outdoor filming is being outdoors. One of the hardships of outdoor filming is being outdoors. You can't control the environment, and I think we're foolish to pretend like we can. Why would you want to control something this amazing and this beautiful? Okay, so that's my kerchief, Bopchi, free. This one is, I love this one. This is Piper's Journey by Auntie Paula. Find the hashtag for Piper's Journey. It's amazing. All the beautiful different ways. This one I knit in the fiber company, I believe it's Cumbria, maybe. Whatever yarn you decide to use would be amazing. Don't worry about what I used. But if you, or no, it's Arcadia. Boom. Yes, I love it when I can actually remember something and then I don't have to bluff my way through it. But truly, I always think it's fun to see what other people knit, but I always wind up doing my own thing anyway. Okay, last on the list. And we've hiked for about 4 miles now, so I'm good and warm. So I'm gonna take my jacket off. We've got another 2 to go. She likes to hike quite a bit. And she's indulging me today. Ready? She's indulging me with this little stop and sit. This is my Felix sweater. Felix is a really, let me see if I can, now I might actually get cool, so let's see. So this is my Felix sweater. It is knit in Quince & Co. Crane. You gotta find the blue color on your own. I don't know the color. It's like a bluish purple. All their colors are fantastic and amazing. You can't go wrong picking one. The pattern, I believe, originally was knit in a Letalope. And I don't even know if I'm saying that right. I'm not cool. I'm not clever. I'm very much just exactly what you're getting right now. So I don't remember everything, and I don't try to. This podcast is more about just giving you a few moments out in the wilderness with me, rather than giving you a list of, hey, this pattern should be knit in this and that. I generally go off res on patterns, and this is one. Savory Knitting, who is Amy Christopher's, created this pattern. There's also a cardigan for it as well. The increases are done as beautiful shoulder lace detail. Very straightforward. I knit it in a different yarn. When I did my swatch, I knew my gauge was much different than what the pattern called for, but I was okay with that because I wanted it to be more fitted. So mine is more fitted, and I love it because I can wear it over a lot of my clothes, and just it keeps me warm. And this yarn, it's a single ply. Does it pill? Yes. Is it worth the pilling? Absolutely. It is soft and silky and amazing, and I love it. So I think that covers the hand knits. Whenever I'm outside, I'm generally wearing hand knits. And in my bag, I've got my hand knitting. If you are... She's so funny. If you were tired of seeing this sweater Imagine how I feel knitting this sweater all the time. I'm usually a super fast knitter. This project is just slow, and I don't want to say arduous, but slow and intentional. I am knitting it primarily just when I'm outside, and when I'm knitting um, this, I'm not in a hurry this time. The first time I knit it 1, 2, 3, and it was done. And when I got to the end of it, I was so excited to have the finished product. I had a list of all the different things I wanted to change, and that's what I'm doing now. It's living. I put this little bucket in my backpack, and it's adorable. It is from Fisherfolk, Cordova, Alaska. It gives you the longe and lat. Came from the Net Loft. It's got a leather-ish, I don't know if it's real leather, could be pleather, I don't know, I don't care. It works. The bottom, I can set it down on this damp moss, and I never have to worry about what's inside. My dog is so cute climbing up the hill. She's having the best time, and I am too. It's fun to chat with you. I hope you are enjoying this moment outside with me. I stick it in this little bucket, I pull it out of the little bucket, and I work on it. And I work on it, and I work on it, and I work on it. And you probably saw me in the kayak with this, and it truly has only grown 4 rounds since the last time you saw me. What I really am enjoying about this, I knit it the first time in the recommended yarn, which was Spin Cycle yarn, and a hand spun yarn from a dear friend named Pat, who is amazing, and her hand spun is incredible. Oh wait, I wanted to show you something about this, so let me leave it out. What I like about knitting something the first time in the recommended yarn is you can kind of get a true sense of what the designer wanted you to experience, and I loved it. However, I want this one to be more fluid, a bit drapier with a little less structural integrity, and I want, oh, there's some people hiking across the pond, and Sasha is seeing them, and I want it to be longer in the arms, longer in the body, and I want to be able to put stuff underneath of it and not have it fit too tight, which I did with the last one. But this one, the yarn, I want it to be more open and knit at a looser gauge. Hopefully it'll still trap and capture some of that warm air from my body and keep me warm with it. But yeah. One thing I did want to share is I have a lot of needles, and I find that the best way to set aside my sleeves for me and then go back for them is to not put them on waste yarn and then have to pick it up. I find needles that are the same size as what I'm using. Now granted, these are metal and they're square. These are round and they're wooden. I have found my gauge doesn't change between the two. I like to put them on just like this, and when I come back, I just start the knitting right up on the needles. Now, for most of you seasoned knitters, that's probably advice that you might not need. But for those of you who are new to sweater knitting, I used to get so frustrated when I would have to put the stitches on waste yarn, and I could never get the best waste yarn to come back from. And by that I mean when I went to pick it back up, sometimes it would stick, or other times I would pull it and I wouldn't be able to see it when I was trying to pick it up. I find that I am able to just join the yarn and pick right back up with this. Or if you want to keep the continuity between the body needle, like those square ones that I was using, I could very well finish the body, take those and knit right on using those and the needle. So just an idea. It's kind of fun to be in a community where people have very distinct fingerprints on their own projects. And when someone can bring you alongside of them and show you what they're doing and share a little bit as to why they are doing it this particular way, it makes our journey in knitting all the more enriched. So, all right, well, I've got a hike to take, and I have a dog with which to take that hike. I've enjoyed spending some time with you here, and I hope you've enjoyed it with me. And I just hope, I really sincerely hope that from this side of the iPhone, when I look at those 3 little circles on it, it looks like 2 eyes and a nose. And really what I'm seeing is the possibility of connecting with you on the other side. My intention is to share a little bit of love and aloha with you and to encourage you. I'd love to do a better job of encouraging. So if there's anything that I can do to brighten your day, in the comments, definitely tell me. Until next time, I am hoping the sun is shining on you wherever you are, and that you know that you are created intentionally, on purpose, and with love.